Hi, hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, this is Matoya. Please do give this video a like. Please subscribe and please give a comment. Also, share the video with a friend or family. If you are returning viewer, I do thank you for your commitment to this channel and do show my appreciation to you. Thank you so very much. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and help this channel to grow. My ultimate goal for 2024 is to have a sense of urgency to do the will of God, a sense of urgency to please God, a sense of urgency to be obedient to the Lord. That is my goal. I don't have any other personal goals. I don't have any plans. Persons may say this sounds stupid or foolish. And to them, they may think that it's not a wise choice not to have a goal or a plan or to work towards certain objectives. But as for me, this is what I told God since 2019. God, I will not have any plans. I will not have any goals. Whatever it is your goal for my life, whatever is your will, your plan, let it be done. I'm just following you. You just lead and direct my life. And whatever it is that you will for my life, that's my will. Whatever it is your plan for my life, that's my plan. Before 2019 or prior to 2019, I had this problem of not having this sense of urgency, not having this sense of urge to do God's will. Or I may have had this zeal to do the work of God. I may have had this zeal to go and do what He calls me to do. But this urgency wasn't there. I was willing to do it, but not with urgency, with great care and great effort. Mark you, I had worked in the ministry working hard, and I've seen results and see wherein God really was using me. But to really surrender and submit, to really give in fully, I was not. And that was my problem all along. That was what was my hindrance all along. That was the setback in my life all along. The lack of urgency towards God. The lack of total surrender. Not completely leaning nor depending on God. That was my problem, my issue. So I could be doing all the physical and tangible things in the church. Cleaning the church, going out there witnessing, evangelizing, the whole works, doing church work. But was I doing it for God? Or I just wanted to hear that I was faithful, or I wanted to hear my name being called, that I was doing this and I was doing that, and to get the accolades and the praise. Was I really doing it for God? Or I was just doing it for a show? Or was I just really false? trying to pretend. I believe I was genuine with my actions and my doing because I see the results when I pray, and I know my heart was sincere, but I wasn't totally and completely surrendered to God, because when He calls me to do His work, I only told Him, God, I'm only willing to work for you, but certain responsibilities in church I don't want. Certain things I don't want to do, please don't. When He calls me and lay certain responsibilities and it shows me for certain tasks, I told Him no, because that's not what I wanted. I want to live a life that is just minimal. I didn't want any stress, any problems, any issues. I didn't want to have to deal with anything that is great. That was just me. I'm being honest. I told God I didn't want any responsibilities. And because I spoke those things in my life, it affected me negatively, because the thing that I spoke out of my mouth, that's what happened. I told God I didn't want to get married. I didn't want to have any children, because I said, God, I don't want to have any responsibility. I don't want to have any responsibility, because I see how parents are to deal with their children, and I see how marriages were terrible sometimes. Most of them that I know were terrible. But when I get older and get to understand that you don't have to live like that, you don't have to have the same experience as others, your life can be different. But when I was younger, in my teens and in my early 20s, I told God, no, I don't want any responsibilities. I don't want any children. I don't want to be married. I don't want nothing great to do. I just want to be lazy. I just want to not have any responsibilities. Go about what I had planned. I had plans in my life. I had goals that I want to achieve and all sorts of things. So now as I've become matured and as I have gone through a lot of pain, suffering and trauma, and I've now learned all that I need to learn, my eyes have been opened. So now you see why I said I don't have any goals and any plan, because I had the plans and goals for my life differently. I was always willing to work in the ministry, always willing to work, but never wanted any position, never wanted any responsibilities, never. I just told God I am willing to work, but I want to become a chartered accountant, and that's what I was aiming at and putting every effort at doing. But nothing like that happened in my life, because I wanted what I wanted. I wanted my will and not what God wanted. There are times that we say persons are faithful, persons are dedicated to their work and dedicated to the church, dedicated to the ministry. But are we really dedicated? Are we really faithful? We may be faithful to those who see us as faithful, but to God, are we faithful to God? We may be doing everything that seems right, but God knows our hearts. He knows our intents and our plans. He knows, He sees, and He knows everything that we are thinking and doing. And He knows if we are real or we are fake. He knows our desires. He knows who is faithful and who is not faithful. Even those who are called faithful, they may not be faithful, and the ones who are termed not faithful, they may be the faithful one, because it's whom God chooses and whom God sees their heart and know that that person is faithful. That person's heart is toward Him and not toward work only. not toward wanting to hear their names called that they are faithful and dedicated. Because persons may be just doing work for the outward appearance, but inside the heart, not towards God, not towards God, not towards God. But the devil comes in slick at times to distract us and to derail us. And that's what he did to me. That's what he did to me. He came in slick with the spirit of laziness and procrastination. And it's a spirit that is sent to hinder us from fulfilling our purpose that God has called us to and for. The spirit of laziness and procrastination, it comes to distract us and to hinder us. It comes to distract us and to hinder us from doing God's will, God's divine will, which leads to obedience. And obedience leads to total submission to God, which will allow us or cause us to fulfill God's purpose and plan for our life, and will open up doors of blessings and favor in our lives. We will experience absolute blessings. Such blessings like what God blessed Abram with, because we have now become surrendered to God. So the devil Satan plan is to hinder us from being blessed, or to hinder us from obtaining our blessing, because his intention and plan is to keep us in poverty, so that we live an unfulfilled life, a life of misery, a life of fear and doubt and trouble, because Satan wants to keep us yoked up and chained and bound, and he wants us to be living in torment and terror, and these things distracts us from operating in the will of God.